Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Friday, September 19th, 2025. I am Dave Biddle. I'm very happy to be joined by Jonah Booker. It's not really BTA Fridays today. There's no game tomorrow for the Buckeyes. It's going to be my butt on couch tomorrow, though. I tell you that. That's going to be nice just watching some football all day. How you doing this morning, JB?
I'm doing well. And yourself? It's Friday, and we finally got some rain out here in Arizona, man. It was a beautiful thing. So I wake up this morning and there's some clouds, and I'm just like, the summer is finally over and fall is finally here for us out here on the West Coast.
You can get under 100 each day. So, yeah, I mean, like, we haven't had any rain here in, like, Columbus in forever. Like, my grass is brown. So, hey, less times for me to have to mow the grass. I'm not complaining too much. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to have a little fun on today's show. We're going to bounce around a lot. We're going to give our best bet for the college football weekend. We might start off doing that. And then we're going to give our quarter year grades for the Buckeyes. Offense, defense, special teams. How do we grade the Buckeyes a quarter of the way through the regular season? We'll give our offensive MVP or defensive MVP. We'll look around college football, give our picks for the champions of the 4 Power 4 conferences, and we'll take a look at Michigan at Nebraska, Illinois at Indiana, a couple of big games in the Big Ten. All right, let's start with our best bet of the week. Man, I'm teetering back and forth between two here. I'm teetering back and forth between under 23.5 points tonight, Iowa at Rutgers, under 23.5. But I think I'm going to go with as my official best bet. In fact, I know, final answer, Texas Tech plus 3.5 at Utah.
Okay.
Texas Tech plus 3.5 at Utah is my best bet. There you go.
When you say under 23.5, are you talking about first half?
First half.
Okay.
First half, Iowa at Rutgers, first half. But that's my runner-up. That's not my official. But I like Iowa at Rutgers under 23.5 in the first half. Yeah.
And to recap for last week, we both hit our best bet. I'm 3-0. So let's keep the streak. Let's keep the streak going. Dave, you're back on the winning column. And hey, good call with the pick last week. So I like that. Texas Tech. And I watched that Utah game against Wyoming, and Utah did not look very good playing at Wyoming. And Texas Tech, they're humming along. And you're getting the points in the hook there. Mm-hmm. It's weird because here's Fox again. This should be a great game. And I think it's like 10 a.m. kickoff local time for that game as well.
Yeah, we have one of our guys here is saying that. Who knows this one? He's like, I can never get over how lame Big Noon is. Texas Tech and Utah starting at 10 a.m. local. Is it bad that I like it because I just get to like watch football at noon? A big game at noon. Sorry,
but there's a lot of good games tomorrow.
Heck yeah, and I like how they're like staggered too. You get Texas Tech and Utah at noon, Michigan, Nebraska 3:30, Illinois at Indiana. Prime time, and there's some other good games mixed in as well. All right, your best bet of the week.
I give you my best bet, and then we can try to knock out a couple secondary bets that we like. My best bet, I'm going with UCF -7, or you can maybe find it -6.5 over North Carolina at home. You got North Carolina that's traveling on the road to UCF, hostile environment. North Carolina, this is a program that's dealing with some injuries right now, a program that is lacking in explosive plays. One of the only few teams in NCAA that has yet to have 40-plus yards explosive plays. You're talking about a UCF team that's coming off a bye, so they've had 2 weeks to prepare for North Carolina. The last time that they were on the field, 68-7 rout over NC-A&T. I like this game here because if UCF jumps up on North Carolina at home, I don't think North Carolina has the firepower to dig themselves out of a hole here. So give me UCF -7. If you can find it -6.5, that would be even better.
What's the over-under on how many times mentioned Sand not running? Well, Sand needs to run more. So there you go. It's at least at 1. No, I mean, I don't need him running like in certain games. But, yeah, as I like to say, like once or twice when it's a easy first down, get out of bounds, don't get hit. Why not take that easy first down? All right. I like the comedy, though. I like the comedy. All right. I like you want to give some other ones? I really – those are the two I wrote down. Do you have some other ones that some secondary bets you like?
Yeah, I can't believe Maryland is getting 10 and a hook, 10.5 plus 10.5 at Wisconsin. Like, That right there looks very intriguing to me as a Lycum pick. I mean, you're talking about a Wisconsin team whose offense is struggling right now, not very explosive. You're getting 3 scores for Maryland here. Maryland usually plays their best football in September. You're talking about a Wisconsin team that's coming off a long road trip, a physically beat down at Alabama. I don't know if Wisconsin is good enough to beat a Big Ten formidable foe by 3 scores in order to cover the spread. I can see a situation where Wisconsin wins this game, but because you're getting 10 in the hook, I kind of like that Maryland pick. And we're going to touch on the Illinois Indiana game. Kind of like Illinois getting 6.5 here, Dave. That's going to be an interesting game. This is Indiana really hasn't played anybody. I know that early in the season, you kind of like that Duke Illinois game, and Illinois went in there and trounced Duke on the road. I like Illinois with a veteran offensive line. They got a little bit of injuries at the left tackle position, but the quarterback play, running back play of Illinois going into Indiana at night. Even though you're getting the points, I can see a situation to where Illinois wins that game outright.
And that's an interesting spread because it opened at 2.5. Indiana favored by 2.5, and it just has gone steadily up. Is it up to? You said it's up to 6.5 now.
6.5. The public is hammering. The public is hammering Indiana right now.
I love Illinois covering that spread. I mean, I think I can see why. I mean, Indiana, because you mentioned Illinois is banged up. They also have a DB that's probably one of their best defensive players. A DB is probably out for this one. You know, I don't know. You don't just waltz into Memorial Stadium in Bloomington and pull out a win. No, I'm joking. But yeah, 6.5. Even when it opened at 2.5, I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay away from it. But because, you know, I could see, you know, Indiana or Illinois. I don't know. But 2.5 just seemed like I'm going to stay away from it. 6.5, I might put some cash.
Because I can easily see a situation to where Illinois wins that game outright, Dave.
For sure. That's why it might be like a good idea because you're going to get. I'd have to look at what it is. You're probably getting what, 2-1 on the money line, if not maybe plus 180. Might do a money line bet on that. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I agree. A lot of people are like Illinois. They think Illinois is going to win. They think, yeah, exactly. I don't understand why that's 6.5. I mean, I do because the money's coming in. I mean, I understand that. All right.
I was looking it up, and they said the public's been hammering Indiana for whatever reason, and it's kind of fool's gold because Indiana has played pretty much high school teams, and they've been running up the score. So a lot of people have been seeing these blowouts next to the win column for Indiana. So they're saying, "Oh boy, this is going to be a Indiana home night game. They're going to run it up on Illinois." I don't know, man. I kind of like Illinois hanging in there because this is a situation when you have a stout offensive line, a veteran quarterback, a solid run game. Illinois can be kind of stout on the defense there. Those type of recipes keeps you in games, and you telling me that I can get a couple extra points on the road? It looks kind of good, Dave. I might try to parlay that into something. I mean, if you're into teaser bets, man, if you tease that one up, that one might be pretty intriguing.
No doubt about it. All right, Michigan at Nebraska, vibes.
That one's so close, man.
Yeah.
Like I want to see Nebraska win because I feel like this is a turning point opportunity for Nebraska's program because I feel like they've worked so hard to get to this point. Like if you can get over this hump, I feel like Nebraska is well on their way to finally getting over to that next level on the mountain. But I do you trust Nebraska?
I don't know. No. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if Sharon Moore being out really affects them that much with Biff Poggi stepping in as their head coach. I don't know. I mean, I picked Nebraska to win, but yeah, I don't have a ton of faith in it. I think it's going to be a really good game, and either team could win. But I picked Nebraska. Yeah. I think being at home is going to help them a lot. I like that Rayola at least has a season under his belt now. He's not just a true freshman out there. But yeah, I think Nebraska is going to barely pull it out. But I don't have a tremendous amount of. This is like one of those confidence pulls. You know, like bowl season, you know, I'd give it like maybe like 10 confidence points out of 35. Not 10 out of 100. Not 10 out of 100, like 10 out of like however many bowl games are on. Maybe there's like 40 bowl games now. Maybe I give it like a 10 out of 40. I would pick Nebraska straight up, though.
This game is so hard because, and what makes it so intriguing, is because Michigan's quarterback, we know that he has a skill set where he potentially can really go off, but you also have to keep in mind a true freshman playing in a hostile environment. The last time that we saw him on the road playing in a hostile environment, he didn't perform really well, even though that they say now that they're going to, kind of keep the cuffs off of him and let him do what he does best, which is run the football. Even still, playing at Nebraska in that type of environment on the road is going to be tough sledding. I look at this Nebraska team and you say to yourself, can you trust them to win an actual big game, even though it's at home? And your gut tells you probably not. But at the same time, do you trust a true freshman to go on the road without their head coach and pull out a win in a hostile environment? That's why I'm just like, oof. That's one of those ones you probably just watch for entertainment purposes and hope that Nebraska pulls out the win.
Yep, I'm with you. That's why, all betting aside, I'm curious who wins that game. I mean, if you have a betting angle, even better. If you have Nebraska and they win and you bet on them, great. All right, let's give some quarter-year grades for the Buckeyes. Let's just start with offense. What grade would you give? And this is all-encompassing. The offense overall, the coaching on the offense, the performance of the players. What grade would you give the offense so far?
I'll give them a B right now, Dave. I think there's still a lot of room to improve. I don't think this offense is nowhere near where their potential is at as far as their ceiling, and they will tell you that. And I think a lot of that is also by design, because as you listen to them talk to the media, they have always said that they're going to continue to give Julian Sand more and more on his plate. So you can't give them an actual final grade of a potential A when you know the quarterback doesn't have the full repertoire at his disposal right now as far as what they can actually give him. I still think that they're trying to figure out the running back situation. It's a good situation to be in, because I think going into the season, the logical thought was Donaldson and James Peoples were going to be your 1-2 punch, and then Bo Jackson, was a kid in camp that showed a lot of potential. I don't think it was a situation where they're looking down the barrel to where this is probably your future starting running back, and so you have to kind of now ease this guy into a role to where, hey, this kid is probably the best true freshman running back in college football, but you also have to be wary that he is a freshman. You can't overwhelm him. So how much can we actually give him? And it's good, because I think the offensive line has been really good. I think they've been solid. They've been playing really well. I think there's still a lot of room for Tegra to get better at the right guard spot. I think he will tell you that he needs to probably pick his play up a little bit more. The tight ends, I think they've been doing a little bit. They need to get a little bit healthier in that room, but they've been pretty solid. The one area I will say is I think they're purposely targeting Tate and Jeremiah, and because of that, you're not getting a lot of production out of your 3 or 4 wide receiver. I don't know how much that's going to help you down the stretch if you're not getting those guys involved as you get deeper into the schedule. I think the time now is probably, hey, let's start trying to get our next wave of guys ready. But right now, I would say a B. I think they're building. I don't think it's a finished product, but I think they're building a solid foundation as the season progresses, to where come late October, November, as you're starting to play your best football, as Jim Tressel likes to say, hopefully this offense is at that point clicking on all cylinders.
Very well said. I have very little to add to that. I also give them a B, and it's one of those things where, as you mentioned, like if we look back on, I'll be surprised at the end of the season if it's still a B. It feels like they're building towards something much better than a B if they can get the run game figured out. I agree. Bo Jackson seems like it's just a matter of time that he's going to be RB1 on this team sooner rather. It could be against Washington. If it's not, it's going to be sooner rather than later. I also give them a B. All right.
But Bo Jackson, that's like a great problem, because
Yeah.
that's one of those things. Like I said, you go into the season and you're like, okay, we got our two guys, and then all of a sudden, boom, this freshman sensation pops on the scene, and you're like, hold on, maybe we have a primetime player that can be that home run difference maker. Now you have to probably kind of take a step back and reevaluate what you really want to be offensively. Because now you can say, hey, instead of saying, hey, let's just keep the offense on schedule, now you're looking at Bo Jackson and say, hey, this kid might be breaking off chunk plays 20, 30, 40 yards and putting an offense in very favorable situations. So you have to look at it as like, this is a different dynamic that we probably didn't expect coming out of fall camp.
No doubt about it. And what I love about it is like he's not just a big play waiting to happen, which he of course is, but he's also physical enough, even as a true freshman, and strong enough. 217 pounds. Enrolling early was huge for him, going through months of the conditioning program and strength. He's big enough to get the tough yards too. He's physical enough to get the tough yards when needed. And again, he's just an explosive play waiting to happen. Yeah, it gives me. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. I love it.
You know who his workout partner was in the summer?
Who's that?
Jeremiah Smith.
That's a good guy to work out with.
Yeah, Jeremiah was giving Bo the endorsement. Those guys were workout partners, and I believe I have to look back at it. There's a column or an interview somewhere where Jeremiah was saying that Bo was squatting, mid 400s coming out of the summer at 217 as a true freshman. So he has that power and the strength, and you see it. He'll run through those arm tackles. So when you're working out and going pound for pound with Jeremiah Smith, that right there tells you like he was ready.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love this freshman class, man. I know they were highly rated. I've said it, screamed it from the mountaintops. They were underrated, even though they were the number 4 class in the country. They were like number 2 in star rating. What a great freshman class. All right. Defense. I'll go first on this one. Pretty easy for me. They get an A. I love what I'm seeing from Matt Patricia and the assistant coaches. I love the synergy on this staff. Everybody seems to be on the same page. There's no infighting from what I've been told. And Patricia's just doing a great job. And he's taking no credit, even though it'd be very easy for him to. He gives all the credit to the players and the assistant coaches. And it's crazy to say it, Jonah. I mean, they lose, not only do they lose 8 starters, they lose all 8 of those starters were NFL draft picks. None of them were 6th or 7th rounders. They were all 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th rounders. You lose that many guys. It's one thing to say Ohio State reloads every year. This is ridiculous. They were the best defense in the country last year. They look like they're the best defense in the country to me again this year. So I give them a solid A through 3 games.
I agree. The thing with me with the defense, I am pleasantly surprised how far ahead they are right now. With the talent that they had, especially with Caleb Downs being the leader of that defense and Sonny Styles, I knew that they were going to be good. The thing that really surprised me, Dave, I didn't know what we were going to get from Matt Patricia coming in with NFL concepts, and a lot of people, even Bobby Carpenter and guys who played for him, said that sometimes his defense can be very complex. When you bring in an NFL install and you start to have so many different nuances to a defense, it can be a little bit confusing because there can be different layers. Because if an offense, for example, comes out in a certain look, there's probably 2 to 3 different checks a defense can give to make sure that you're getting into. I think we lost Dave there. A defense that can get into the right play there. And for me, with Matt Patricia, I thought that it was going to take a whole lot longer for the defense to get up to speed. And for me, just A+. They have done a tremendous job getting those guys playing fast. And it's a credit to his teaching ability. And that was the one thing on the Caleb Downs podcast that he talked about. He talked about how smart Matt Patricia was, not only football-wise, but also his ability to teach. There you go. You're back. His ability to teach. And that's the most important thing. You can have the most complex defense, the best plays, the best scheme, but if you're not able to teach that defense to where the kids are understanding it and they're able to move fast, play fast, it really doesn't matter. And Matt has come in and he has embraced Ohio State. The players love him. When you see coaches dapping them up, hugging each other out there, and you talked about the synergy within the coaches, that's huge, Dave. I hope he stays around for quite a bit of time because he and I thought it was interesting when Caleb came in, or Caleb Downs' podcast a couple weeks ago. Did you see that? He talked about the catapult system. And for you guys who are not familiar with catapult, basically it is a database. And in that database, it is cut-ups of Ohio State's formations, and it's a whole library of information. So if coaches want to tell players on their laptops, hey, go study this, this, and this, I want you guys to understand these techniques, they can go into the catapult and get that information. Catapult also tracks a lot of the players' movements to make sure that they're staying fresh, make sure that they're not overused. Well, Matt Patricia came in and he looked at Ohio State's catapult system and basically said it was trash. And he said, I can't work with this. I don't understand what you guys are doing. So he basically re-engineered Ohio State's entire catapult system and said, before we can even get in there, we need to clean this up, simplify it. And Caleb said that because Matt was able to go in there to do that, players now understand how to go in there and break the film down a whole lot easier. So it's helping them to understand the games, what they're asking of them. And so those little nuances behind the scene makes him incredibly valuable to the program.
And he's very happy here. I know Patricia for a fact is happy here. His family is happy. I think unless an NFL team just drops a boatload of money on him, an offer he can't refuse, I think it would take, not just like maybe even double what he's making at Ohio State. It might have to be a Chip Kelly situation where you have to triple his salary, because I know he's very happy and he's got plenty of money. So I don't know if money is really going to be a huge factor here. It always is.
He's actually doing really well recruiting.
He is. So that tells you, like, if he thought he was going to be one and done, would he be that involved in recruiting? I mean, maybe he would be, just to do a solid for like Ryan Day and his program. And he doesn't know for sure if he's going to be one and done. But if he felt like he was going to be one and done, I can't imagine he'd jump in head first like he has with recruiting. So hopefully he's here for more than 1 year. I think he was a Grand Slam hire. All right, let's go through these relatively quick. Special teams, what grade?
It's B minus, maybe. I mean, you really don't see the field goal unit very much, but the punt unit still leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, you look back at the Texas game, and they really had a tough time flipping the field with the punt. So I still think that there's a lot of room to go with the special team. The coverage unit has been solid. Don't get me wrong. You haven't seen really any big returns there. I loved seeing those young guys down there like Riley Pettijohn and those young bulls down there on the kickoff coverage team, because they are flying down there trying to knock somebody's block off. So the coverage team has been really, really good. Brandon Ennis on the punt return team, still need to get a little bit more from him there. If you can get him to flip the field there, that's definitely going to help the offense. But I would say B minus on the special teams. Where do you stand there?
I got C plus. You almost talked me into a B minus but Jim Tressel is just ringing in my ear. The punt is the most important play in football, right? And what is Ohio State substandard at? Punting the ball and then returning punts.
That's true.
Yeah, until they get that cleaned up, I can't get them above a C plus. But you nailed it. I mean, I almost hate giving them a C plus, because that includes the coverage units have been really an A. So far, the field goal kicker here, fielding has been an A. He hasn't missed. He hasn't had any long kicks though. So I give them a C plus. All right, offensive MVP. I kicked this around. It's easy to give it to J.J. Smith, and I almost did. I'm giving it to Julian Sayin. Here's why. He's third in the country in passing efficiency. Redshirt freshman. They really haven't put too much on his table. And against Texas, I just go back to that. And Texas looks extremely overrated offensively. I get it. Defense, I still think they're excellent defense. He didn't look rattled at all. Looked rattled a couple times against Ohio University. But your Bobcats will do that to people, right? But seriously, man, how poised he's been and how accurate he's been. He was 13 of 20 against Texas. He should have been 17 of 20 because he had 4 drops. So, yeah, I'm giving it to Julian Sayin, number 3 in the country in passing efficiency, cool, calm, and collected as a redshirt freshman. I love his accuracy. My offensive MVP for the first 3 games is Julian Sayin. What do you got?
And in our staff write-up, that's who I listed as my offensive MVP. That will be posted today as well. I listed Julian Sayin. Coming into the season, you heard a lot of talk about a ton of quarterbacks all across the country who a lot of people deem were some of the top 10 quarterbacks. I now believe that Julian Sayin should be in the conversation as one of the top 10 quarterbacks in college football, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in college football right now, statistically. Regardless, every team in college football has played some teams who are way below their standards as far as competition. And some of these quarterbacks have struggled mightily. You look at Arch Manning last week, 10 straight incompletions against UTEP. You don't see that against Georgia. Georgia, they play a smaller competition. They had to throw the ball 34 times. And it was against a JV team just to get their stats up. So I look at Julian Sayin and I'm saying, hey, man, you're doing just fine. Continue the climb that you're on. And there is a very good chance by the end of the season, we're talking about Julian Sayin in discussion as top 5 quarterback conversation in college football. I think he's on that type of rise.
Now, defense, I mean, there's probably 5 guys you could make a good argument for defensive MVP. So I'm going to let you go first. Now, I already have mine written down. We had to submit, as you mentioned, for our staff roundtable. Seriously, you can make a salient argument for at least 5 guys. Who you got?
Yeah. I put down Arvell Reese as my guy.
Yep.
I juggle between him and Jalen McClain. And I say, like you mentioned, there's 5 guys, and I say Arvell Reese. And the reason I say Arvell Reese is because I think he's been flat out dominant to start the season with his skill set and being able to run sideline to sideline. He has allowed this defense to do so many different things as far as the flexibility. He can line up on the line of scrimmage, blitz the quarterback. He can play off-ball linebacker. His ability to get to point A to point B, chasing down the ball carrier or the quarterback, flushing them outside the pocket, has done wonders to this defense. With his skill set and size as 6'4", 240 linebacker, it allows a lot of flexibility for Matt Patricia to really do some creative things with this defense. So that's why I put him down so far as my defensive MVP.
I wanted to go with a tie between Caleb Downs, Caden McDonald, and Arvell Reese, and with some other guys also receiving votes like Jalen McClain, for example. Those 3 guys, I mean, Caleb Downs, I mean, he's the coach of the defense. He's getting these guys lined up. Matt Patricia refers to him as a pro's pro. Matt Patricia knows something about a pro's pro, being with the Patriots for 15 years, also his head coach with the Lions for a little bit. Caden McDonald is just an absolute wrecking crew in there. And it allows, as Patricia was explaining, it allows you to widen your defense out because you have that big 1 tech in there that just crushes the line of scrimmage, just opens everything up. I also picked Arvell Reese, though. I also picked Arvell Reese just because he's just been as Dan Rubin would say, he's been an absolute werewolf out there. He does everything well. He might be the best pass rusher on the team and the best spy on the team, as Bill Landis said, he didn't make a statement. He asked a question to Matt Patricia. He's like, he might be your best pass rusher and your best spy. It's like, yeah, that's how good he is. But, man, again, though, you can make an easily you could say Caleb Downs. Easily you could say Caden McDonald.
Yeah.
I will go with Arvell Reese as well. I went with Arvell Reese. All right, let's run through these. The champions of the Power 4 conferences. You want me to go first or you want to go first?
You go first.
All right. I have, to no surprise, in the Big Ten, the Ohio State Buckeyes winning the Big Ten, although it certainly will not be easy. And really, I know conference championships have lost their luster. I mean, do we really care that Ohio State didn't win the Big Ten last year? It would have been nice if they did, but, why are we still basking? Because they won the national championship. All right, SEC, I've got Georgia. ACC, I've got Miami, but I tell you what, Georgia Tech is a factor, and so is Florida State. Everybody picked Clemson coming into the year, and they're pretty much out of it now. Dabo is already losing it. I love it. And I'm Big 12, I have Texas Tech.
Ooh, Big 10, I got Ohio State. ACC, I think I'm going to go with Miami. I think they're on the heater right now. Georgia Tech gives Miami problems though, and if they're to face each other, it would be in the ACC championship. And Haynes King is a thorn in Miami's side, so I can see Georgia Tech winning that division. Florida State, Buck Rational, he put FSU in there. That's a good pick. Can't sleep on Florida State. They're playing some good football as well.
Yep, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, give me your other ones as well.
SEC, I'm gonna roll with Georgia here. I think Georgia's probably the class of the SEC right now. And in the Big 12, give me Iowa State.
Ooh, okay.
Give me Iowa State. I think they got something going on out there in Ames, Iowa. I mean, they're winning some close ones there. The Rocco quarterback, he's out there hooping. Give me Iowa State to win the Big 12. They made it to the Big 12 championship last year. They got a taste of success. They're trying to get back there this year to win it all.
You got Texas Tech outspending like half the teams in Major League Baseball this year. You know, like I think Texas Tech's I think their team salary is like twice that of like the Pittsburgh Pirates, for example. But seriously, Texas Tech, the best. We'll see if it's the best team money can buy, or maybe they wasted a lot of money. We'll find out. All right, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for getting up a little extra early this morning, Jay Book. I appreciate it. He's 3 hours behind us, guys. Thank you to Jonah Booker, man. I appreciate it. Enjoy the games tomorrow, my friend.
All right. Talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, man. I'm glad Jonah was able to keep the show going. I had to take care of something with my dogs real quick. I had to run upstairs and take care of something with my dogs. That's why I had to jump off camera there for a minute. Of course, but I knew Jay Book. I didn't have to say anything to him. He's a pros pro. He's like a Caleb Downs, you know. He's a coach on the field. He's a pros pro. I knew he would just take it and run with it. Caleb Downs is so good. Like if Matt Patricia had to miss a game, like I think Caleb Downs could just be like, you know, like in baseball, you have player manager. That used to be a thing. He could just be like defensive coordinator / starting free safety. No, they'd probably use one of the coaches like Guerreri or Walton. I'm being facetious, but still, Caleb Downs could do it though. He could just call the defense from the field every play. They call him. They literally his teammates call him coach. Now it's probably a little bit, you know, do they do this behind closed doors when they're not talking to the media? No, they probably call him Caleb or whatever his nickname is. But when they talk to the media, they refer to him as Coach Downs. Older guys like IGB refers to Caleb as Coach Downs. So that's Jay Book for you. All right. Thanks to Jay Book. Thanks to all of you. Hope everyone has a great day and a great weekend. Enjoy the games tomorrow. Go Huskers, because our two favorite teams are Ohio State and whoever is playing that team up north. Thanks again to Jay Book. Thanks to all of you. Go Bucks, and I hope you are still basking.